Hey, what is up everyone? This is PvT-Mitten's and I'm going to be doing something different this time. I'm going to be just giving some points that I'd like to see for the next Elder Scrolls, which would be Elder Scrolls 6. Um, this is my opinion, my suggestions. If you like it, let us know in the comments. If you've got your own opinions, let us know. If you think some of my opinions are wrong, let us know. Um, I didn't do a video for a while because I've just been busy, so I apologize. But anyhow, let's get started. I will be talking about Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim as they are the only ones that I've played. I have the first two in the Elder Scrolls Legacy collection, but I just haven't got the time to play them. But I have played Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim. So let's get down to business here. First of all, we'll start with the setting. Now, Morrowind felt amazing. It felt like an alien planet. I know it sounds weird when it's not an alien planet, but it was mysterious, eerie, and sometimes just so like you didn't want to do anything but just explore. That's what Morrowind nailed. Its actual its area, its map. Um, Oblivion came along. Oblivion felt amazing. Oblivion's map was not to sound cheesy, but it was magical. It felt fantasy perfected, in my opinion, for the open world. I just love the areas of exploring Cyrodiil. Skyrim, I love Skyrim's open world. Do not get me wrong. Skyrim feels just like something you'd see in, like, say, Game of Thrones. I know this did come first, I think, but something like Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, something like that there. And yes, I know Lord of the Rings inspired this series, but Skyrim could have done it better. And that's what I want to see in the next one, which brings me to my actual what I would like to see in the series for the next setting. Black Marsh. Now, I would also say Valenwood, but Valenwood would just be another Cyrodiil with just a bit of, changes here and there. I want to see Black Marsh for a reason, because it's the home of the Argonians, hence it's actually known as Argonia. But on the actual, Tamriel, it's Black Marsh. I would like it to be there because of the fact that we haven't seen much of the Argonians. We haven't seen their armor sets, their weapon sets, even seen with the Khajiits actually. But could you imagine like being set in there? Like for example, you see in the background, it's like a sort of like a marsh kind of thing, where that would be really eerie, deadly plant life, thick fog, dangerous fog that can actually, poison you, or, cause disease or something. Like poisonous lakes and that there. That would be amazing. And if you look at, other videos on YouTube by, really good YouTubers, you'll see some of the architect that Argonia has, which is also be really cool to see. Also, I think it'd be a better setting for the next thing I'm going to bring up. Disease. Disease in Morrowind was perfect. Oblivion, a bit of a disappointment, especially compared to Morrowind, but Skyrim really, really stuffed it up. Skyrim went for really, besides vampirism and the werewolf one, they're the only two diseases that really do anything to you, hence, the vampire werewolf. All the other diseases don't really do anything to you. They just drop your magicka, stamina, and health by, like 10 points or something, or 20, that there. They didn't do anything. I would like to see, as I said, Black Marsh being, poison swamp. How about bringing back diseases really severely? For example, if you catch a really bad disease in, say, like a swamp or something, people will avoid you, and that could also bring in, like, say, a new faction where they're actually hunting down people with this, disease and quarantining them, essentially locking them up. That would be really interesting. I think the diseases need to come back like that there. Also, if you get, say, poison, you don't just, disappears after a certain amount of time. You actually have to cure it. And if you don't, your health will just slowly, disappear kind of thing. That would be really cool. And as for the smog, as I said, make it really thick and hazy. like, you get the really dangerous fog, sorry, at night. Sometimes it's really dangerous to drive. Something like that where it's like really poisonous, and just something different for a change. I mean, I would really welcome something like that there. Don't know if anyone else would, but it would just be really eerie and really magical fantasy kind of thing. Um, I'll touch upon the story real quick. Story, honestly, I'm not going to talk about the other three stories, just to say that Morrowind's story was great, Oblivion was fantastic, Skyrim's was a letdown. I'm not going to talk about how the story should take place, but if you look up the lore, Black March has a lot of political turmoil at the moment. But the one thing I do want them to change is the opening of the next game. For example, all Elder Scrolls you've been a prisoner. How about this time you're a hunter, or whatever, and you just living out your life, whatever, and circumstances. It could be anything that Bethesda can do. Circumstances bring you to become an adventurer. Go on your quest to do this and that. That I would really like to see. Side quests, I can't really fault any of the Elder Scrolls games for side quests. I think all the Elder Scrolls games has had really good side quests, especially Skyrim and Oblivion. Skyrim's side quests were far better than the main story. I think we can all agree on that. Companions, now this is something that I don't know if you'd agree or not, but I would recommend. Less companions, but give them personality. For example, say you got a Nord. You hire a Nord, right? He's, all, shield, swords, the Nord way. But if you run from battle, like say for instance you're getting your ass kicked, right? And you go, stuff it, I'm fucking off here. He would actually turn around and say, "Why are you running? You're a coward." Something like that, and it can actually piss them off. And say like, for another example, you got a Khajiit as a companion. He or she could turn around and say, "Oh, well, I prefer to use stealth. How about we use stealth?" That would be really cool. I mean, that's what the companions need to do, and also, have at least 2 to 3 of each race for companions. Just give them all a personality, as I've stated. Up next, we'll go with the guilds. Now, the guilds, I'm going to talk about Oblivion first, and then I'm going to go to Morrowind, because I think Morrowind has done this better. Oblivion's guilds were fantastic. They had some of the best missions we've seen in the Elder Scrolls. Skyrim's guilds, let's be honest, they were pretty much shit, except for, say, the Thieves Guild and the Dark Brotherhood. Companions were pointless, to say the least. Did not like... I thought the mage one was terrible, especially compared to Oblivion. Just give us more to do. Make it, intriguing. But what I was bringing up about Morrowind is Morrowind, if you joined a certain guild, you could potentially piss off another guild that they will not let you join after that. Like, say, for instance, thieves don't like killing, right? Their honor is not to kill. If you join, say, the Dark Brotherhood would be like, "Oh, yeah, we kill, yeah, all that there." And the Thieves Guild could be like, "No, you're not joining us. Piss off. You're with them." That's what I'd like to see, because that Morrowind did that. Oblivion didn't really do it. And Skyrim... The only choices that really affected the game in Skyrim was the Empire and the Stormcloaks. But yeah. Overall, what I'm saying is I'd really like to see the guilds, go back to their former glory that we saw in Morrowind and Oblivion. And also, just quick to say this, the Champions Arena, I think is what it was called. That was in like Oblivion, I think, introduced that, because I could not find it in Morrowind. I could be wrong. It was great, and also I'm not going to spoil anything, but you got a little prick at the end of the quest, essentially. Skyrim was supposed to have this, because people find in the codes on the vanilla version of Skyrim in Windhelm, the actual arena with actual NPCs standing there, and like you thought this was way back in 2011, well before any of the DLC come out, and you're thinking, oh yeah, oh oh it's not in the main game, but they're gonna bring it back, kind of thing. They never brought it back, and that confused me. I thought, well, why? The Nords like fighting, they like proving themselves, and Skyrim being a Nord province, why not have it in there? So who knows? Maybe we'll get it in the next one, and also the combat in that there, they can improve upon not the main combat. I think Skyrim's combat was perfect in some ways. Um, as I said, the Champions Arena, what they should do is have different stages, like say one where you only fight with your hands, one with daggers, bows, that kind of thing, different things. Um, Up next, I'll bring up the magic real quick. Morrowind, good amount of magic. Oblivion, best magic in the series. We could all agree on that for just two reasons. One, it had the most, and two, you can create your own magic. That's really just it. Skyrim had really really bad selection of magic, and you couldn't create your own magic. I would just like to see more magic, and a return of creating your own magic like you had in Oblivion for the next Elder Scrolls. Also, real quick, if we're gonna be talking about just little mundane things like that, I think the character customization should go back to what Oblivion did. Yes, the character design looked horrendous, but it still had a better customization than Morrowind, and definitely better than what Skyrim had. Skyrim was too laid back with it, just really not much to do with it, which I'll get to after on another subject here. But just go back to say improve upon what Oblivion's version did and give us that there. Now, this one is one that I think would be a really good idea for the series. Do you know Fallout 4 introduced settlements, right? I would really like to see them do this with the next Elder Scrolls, but instead of doing it the way Fallout did, where it was fucking stupid, to be honest, have it where you build up a little settlement, and that settlement you can hire guards to come and protect the perimeter. People come live in your settlement. You can have Khajiit caravans come and trade. You have an inn there, a tavern, stuff like that there. And you can actually build it up that it eventually gets its own, not emperor, but its own ruler of the city. Not you, obviously you'd be fucking off doing what you're doing. But that would be really interesting. I think that's what they could do with Elder Scrolls. Just don't make it like Fallout 4 had. And another little mundane thing, the kids. Now, for anyone that doesn't know, you can adopt kids in Skyrim, but you can only adopt Nords. I think they should have all races: Orcs, Khajiit, Argonians, Elves. That's really all I can say on that. Let's be honest, that's what needs to be done, and we can all agree that's something that needs to improve. Anyhow, back to the video. Now I'm going to talk about DLC for the final part. And I know you're probably thinking, what the hell am I talking about DLC for a game that's not even out? Now, I'm not going to be counting Fallout New Vegas, hence because it's not done by Bethesda, right? I'm going to be talking about Bethesda games here. Morrowind's expansions, they were called expansions, they were DLC, but they were expansion kind of thing. Great starting point, and are arguably the second best DLC in the Elder Scrolls series. Oblivion, without question, some of the best DLC ever made. Best DLC Bethesda's ever put onto any of their games. Fallout 3, better DLC. The DLC was better than the main game. That tells you how good it was too. As I said, I'm not counting New Vegas. But then we got to Skyrim. Skyrim's DLC I thought was pretty lackluster. The first one, which was what? Dawnguard? It was okay. Wasn't great, it was just okay. The second one, let's be honest, wasn't DLC. It was just, oh look, now you can build a house. I don't count that as DLC. And then we got the last one, which was Dragonborn. I could be getting that mixed up with Dawnguard, whichever one came first. Which was the best out of the lot, because it took you to Solstheim. But it still wasn't that great. It was fine, but just wasn't that great. But I thought, okay, it just, Oblivion was the one before it. It's not fair to compare. But then Fallout 4, when it came out, we can all agree Fallout 4's DLC was shit. And I just hope they make real good DLC for this next one. But that's really for the DLC part. I just wanted to bring that up kind of thing. Last but not least, the final thing I want to bring up. Please make speech a thing again. Fallout 4 ruined this. Skyrim reduced a lot of speech. Don't voice the character like you did with Fallout 4. Make a character silent with just heaps of speech options. Everyone else around you's talking. And please don't make it like Fallout 4 where it's all shooter, little RPG. So don't make the next Elder Scrolls all hack and slash, no RPG. Go back to the way Morrowind was, and with a mix up of Oblivion with, like, say, Skyrim's combat. But yeah, that's just a couple of things I wanted to bring up. If there's anything, there's anything I didn't touch upon that you may want to, say, oh well, what about this and that? Feel free to let me know. I really think the topics I brought up were pretty good to say the least, but we never know. It's the biggest rumor is going to be Valenwood. I just hope that it's Black Marsh, but if it is Valenwood, I'm still happy with that, no problem. But yeah, hopefully Bethesda sees this. They never will, but hopefully they see it and take a few pointers, like say like the adoption of kids, the houses, and especially the disease is the one thing I want brought back properly. But yeah, I'm not comparing any of the three, Morrowind, Oblivion, Skyrim. That's for another video. But anyhow, this is Private Mittens. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Take care, guys. See you later.